Welcome in, everybody. It's the DNVR Rapids Podcast with the ALLCITY Network. We have so much to talk about today. We're going to talk about some new artillery on the back line with the Colorado Rapids. We're going to talk about some FIFA player ratings. And the Colorado Rapids are back home, finally, versus the Portland Timbers. And with me to talk about all of that good stuff is my buddy, your friend, everyone's favorite, Yahir Vazquez, Cowboy Super Yaya.
This issue with this intro.
On the microphone.
I love that you have so much love for me. I love it. Trust me. I am egotistical. I love when people love me, but I feel like that's also misleading to our first-time listeners.
First-time listeners, you are in for a treat because this is your new favorite person.
Yeah, say bye to your families and wife. I am taking care of you now.
How's it going, man?
I'm good, dude. I'm a little tired. I'm exhausted. Had 2 days off, and it felt like I was catching up on stuff more than actually resting.
It is busy right now in sports.
You love it, though. Like, September and October, if you're a sports fan, is exactly what you're raced for, right? You have all the major sports going. Then you still have, like, these one-offs on international play. For like Mexico, you have the U.S. playing. Like, it's really fun if you're a sports fan. You have baseball, you have hockey, soccer, football's back, college football. I think I'm missing one.
It's a crazy time right now.
Oh, basketball's almost back.
Basketball's almost back. Mm-hmm. The things that aren't back, it's preseason now and training, and it is a wild time right now in sports. And what better place to be than right here, talking about Colorado Rapids.
This feels like a glorious day today.
Well, let's jump into the most glorious part of this week in sports history, and that's that the Colorado Rapids are making moves. Transfer windows closed, but that's not going to stop Padraig Smith and the Colorado Rapids from making one more move. We've got a new person on the back line. Reggie Cannon joins us, most recently from Queens Park Rangers, and before that, 3 seasons in Boa Vista. I may be saying that wrong, FC. That's in Portugal in their top flight. And before that, in FC Dallas, which I'm willing to forgive now that he's going to be wearing burgundy and blue.
I mean, you have no other choice.
So we've got a new defender, folks. He's 26. It's a 3.5-year deal. Goes through 2027 with an option for 2028. In addition to those teams that he's played with, he's got another thing that a lot of Colorado Rapids players on this current squad have, and that's U.S. men's national team experience. He's got 28 caps with the national team, CONCACAF Nations League in 2022, World Cup qualifiers in 2021, Gold Cup in 2019 and 2021. I know you remember the 20. Well, both of them really. As a Mexico
2019,
fan.
It stings a little bit different. It really does.
Yeah. So with that, there's a little bit of hardware he's earned with that Gold Cup in 2021. And he was part of that team in 2019, 2020 for CONCACAF Nations League. So I think the big thing for this is, one, it's depth. Obviously, it's a depth move. But two, there's an international experience that he brings to this squad, which is important when you look ahead at 2025. As you know, because of the Rapids just coming back from a 46th seed ranking to just beat up on clubs on both sides of the border. They've got a 2025 invite to CONCACAF Champions Cup, and I think that international experience is going to play a big part in that.
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with Reggie Cannon, if I'm completely honest. I haven't followed his career. I haven't scouted him yet. I had know nothing about the guy, if I'm completely honest. But the thing I do like is how versatile he looks. When you see him out there, when you see where he can play, the kind of what he likes to do, it fits in perfectly with Chris Armas. I think it's going to be very interesting what happens going forward, because do you take Keegan out? Do you move him into the center back position? Is he another one of your center backs? Start transitioning him a little bit more there, where speed doesn't really matter there, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does matter, but you have two guys covering that area of the pitch instead of one, and getting beat out by the fastest guys on the pitch, which is usually the wingers. So it's going to be very interesting how Chris Armas integrates him into the squad. See, it's going to be his best position, whether it's at right back. Maybe he even puts him at left back while Vines and Jackson Travis deal with their injuries and kind of figure out what's going on. But at the end of the day, if he's 26?
Yep.
He's a piece just like Djordje and a piece just like Zack, an older guy, but with a lot of experience. Not just the guy that's played in the MLS, not just the guy you think can come in here and maybe be something. He's done it in higher leagues.
Yep.
Now, my biggest question, because I don't know a lot about him, why did he leave Boa Vista? Was it apparently he wasn't getting paid, but the other one was the QPR one. Like, why did they mutually agree to terminate the contract?
Yeah, and we don't know the
it's
answer
all
to that.
speculation. The guy looks like a great guy.
Yeah,
all
the
speculation.
good thing about the Queen's Park thing, and this could be part of that mutual agreement, is that they made it right before the end of the transfer window for MLS, and so that's a key part, because if he had left after the transfer window closed, he wouldn't be able to play for Colorado Rapids until the 2025 season. Mm-hmm. So because that happened still when the window was open, he then becomes a free agent, and we can still make moves outside the window for free agents, because he technically became a free agent before the MLS window closed. Then now he can not only sign on with Colorado Rapids, but can play and suit up as early as this Saturday's match against Portland.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that had something, if he was looking at, listen, I'm not going to be here next year, so can we terminate this early and I can pursue, I've got some interest over in MLS. I don't know. This is all speculation, by the way. This is just where my head's going.
You're throwing poop at the water. See what sticks,
yeah,
right?
we'll just see what happens. But
yeah.
I mean, in my head, that's one scenario why they could have made that, agreement. Because I honestly have no information on that, but that's something to where if you knew you weren't going to be there next year and you know that you were getting some interest, then why not make that agreement earlier and make your move? And that is 100% speculation on my part, but that's the story I like the most.
It's the truth, right? Like, we're both looking at it in different ways. The reason there's a very key thing to talk about, it's because of the vibes. This team is vibing. This team is getting along. This team is doing a really good job of sticking together like a team. Mm-hmm. You don't want to move away from that. The team chemistry has been great so far this year. And we've heard rumblings that there were certain players that the Rapids refused to target over the last few years, no matter how good they were, because they were afraid of what they would do to the team and the team chemistry, no matter how talented. But it feels like Chris Armas had to sign off on this, because that's a key thing to being a coach. You got to make sure your whole team's happy with everybody, so everybody can play for each other and the badge. And if they think Reggie Cannon can be that guy, can be a guy that can come in here and contribute, I don't see why it's a bad thing. Especially if Chris and Padraig have signed off on it and they haven't brought anybody to the Rapids that has started any drama. But it is something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, Chris Armas is obviously a big vibes guy. The way that locker room performs is super important to him. Like, it's precious to him, for lack of a better word. Or maybe that is the best word. But as we know, Chris Armas is a guy who loves this squad. He loves being a part of the squad. He loves leading this squad. And he's going to be very protective of bringing in folks that might mess up, how this team works together, how it gels, the vibes in there. So It's if it's something that Chris Armas is going to sign off on and support, then I don't think there's a whole lot to be worried about with that, because he takes that stuff super seriously.
I'm sorry. In the Toyota chat. I love this coming from Dustin Hahn in our Toyota chat here. And that's why we didn't go after Messi. You know, man, Messi is a notoriously bad teammate. Scores all the goals, gets all the assists, refuses to give anybody else any stats. That's the kind of player.
Nobody wants that. Like
Messi does.
You want a team who's going to spread the goals out. Maybe it's coming from a winger. Maybe your brand new DP in Hafa Navajo. You know, you don't want just one guy running around with Doritos commercials everywhere.
Pepsi and...
Oh gosh, what a drag on the team to have someone like Lionel Messi.
I know, having somebody so good that it makes you mad. That's an insane ego trip right there. You're mad that Messi's on your team. What I found really interesting about when you're reading out his whole USMNT kind of career, he's played with Sam Vines before. He's been the opposite of Sam Vines.
He knows Djordje too.
Yeah, he knows Djordje and Zack.
Yep.
And I'm sure Cole to some extent too. All those USMNT training camps, I'm sure they've met at one of these events. Like, this guy comes in here already knowing half the team, which is already a big plus.
Yeah, and if you watch the video that the Rapids put out yesterday, I guess, you know, there's guys like Hafa who he's saying, good to meet you. Yeah. And then there's guys that he knows, like Djordje and Steffen. And I think that's part of it too, getting back to like not screwing up the vibes on the team and how this team plays together and fights for each other. This is a guy who already has connections and close friendships with guys that are already here. And I think that's important.
This Rapids team does not win without the power of friendship. It really feels like that. I feel like this team is ran off the power of friendship.
The power of karate and friendship.
I mean, honestly, think about it. If these guys did not get along so well, I don't think they'd be as good as they are.
Oh, for sure.
And it's not even close. And it's not, but we saw it the last few years. Yep. We saw Rubio out there yelling at guys. And Rubio was a good leader. People loved him.
Sure.
Favorite player.
I love him.
He was your favorite player on that team.
Yep.
Like, that's the kind of guy Rubio was. But it's very different from going from a drill sergeant like Rubio to going to a vibey place that Chris Armas has built for this team. And you just don't want to mess that up. And that's my biggest fear, because it's so late in the season. And even that's why I was okay without bringing anybody else in for the summer transfer window. Like, if they don't do it, fine. I think a winger is necessary, but they're planning for the winter, right? When they have their big money moves and all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, I gotta trust Padraig. Like, I know Padraig gets a lot of hate for what he's done and how he's built this team, but you can also admit that he's brought in a lot of good players, just like he's brought in a lot of bad players. No GM's gonna have 100 hit rate, and he's been pretty much 50-50.
Yeah, and speaking of Padraig Smith, this is an interesting move from Padraig when you look at the last, like in-season moves. One of the telltale signs that this is a Padraig Smith in-season move is that it's a loan. This is not a loan. This is a 3.5-year deal. Like, he's not here to finish. He's not a rental for the rest of the season. He's here for a while. Like, Reggie Cannon is a Colorado Rapid Burgundy boy for multiple years, with another option. It could be 4.5 years. But that's a pretty rare in-season move coming from the Rapids front office. And I think that is something else to pay attention to. A lot of times it's, do we want to spend money? Do we want to take a chance? We don't know. So let's make it a loan, see how it works. And then we'll either make it official, or we'll cut ties with it. But this is somebody who they felt right away, this is a guy who's going to contribute to this squad. Let's get him here, and let's get him in burgundy and blue and see what happens. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, he is not your Tavares. He is not your Diak. He has nothing to do with those. He is a complete. This is the first kind of move we've seen from the Rapids. Actually, we haven't really seen the Rapids go after a free agent in a while. So there's uncharted territory for the Rapids right now. Let's see what happens. And it's a free move. Like, you cannot be any happier. And how I said, I'm okay with them not going any deeper. Trust me, would I have killed for a Memphis Depay instead of like, of course, free agent, free. Like, I would have taken that in a heartbeat, especially because I think they need a winger. But we also got to realize they're trying to save their money so they can make. I feel like they're trying to make a big splash. They got $1 million for Bombi, then whatever they're gonna get for Miguel Navarro. If that loan deal turns into a buy option, whatever they get for Brian Gabon, remember he's out on loan. They'll still get some money from him at the end of the contract.
Yep.
Like, and plus whoever else comes knocking for some of these guys, it feels like it's gonna be a big splash during the winter. Whether it's multiple guys of $2-3 million, or whether it's one guy for like $5 million, which I wouldn't doubt the Rapids do.
Sure. One of the questions I saw on Twitter earlier today, and you spoke a little bit to this earlier, but I'll throw it out to you. He's considered mostly a right back. There was a fear on Twitter, and not like an overwhelming fear, that he's come in because he's replacing Mr. Rapid, Keegan Rosenberry. Yep. Or is there something wrong with Keegan? We've not heard anything like that, by the way. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think he's coming in to make more of a replacement, or is he just a depth piece? Where else do you see him fitting in?
You don't find a 26-year-old right back with European experience in the MLS for him to be a depth piece. I can see him starting, maybe not this weekend because it's too quick. Maybe give him 2-3 weeks, and then he might be in starting lineup. But I feel like it's more of a lawless move than it is a Keegan move.
Okay.
I feel like it's trying to push Keegan towards the middle high side. That speed is no longer there for Keegan. He's been getting burned all year. If he tracks, he doesn't have that ability to track back like he used to. Nothing against Keegan. There's just so many fast players in the MLS that you can't keep up with it at all times.
Fast players and just on the Rapids.
Exactly. It's hard to keep up with that. And when you have a guy like Keegan that's 30, he's about to start basically the second half of his career again with a little bit slower, a little bit more intelligent. It's a little bit different when you turn 30 and above. It's a whole different style of play because you can't keep up with the same attributes that the guys have anymore. So I think it's going to be more Keegan moves into a center back. Maybe they push into a 5-back. And that's how you get him on the pitch. Maybe you can replace him for one of your wingers because you are kind of depleted on wingers right now. Maybe you put Calvin Harris as a double striker with Rafa, and you keep your 4 midfielders. You just have more flexibility. You have 2 lingering injuries right now with Travis and Sammy. You don't want anything bad to happen to them, but you also have to be very cautious. I think it's just trying to get more depth for now, and I think maybe in a couple of weeks, it's going to be more of a, hey, Keegan, we want you to bring a new role into here. We want you to be a center back along with Maxu and be that kind of guy. And we've seen it. He's done a great job at that position before. He was the pivot in one of these games, like in a 5-back, and he killed it. I think having Keegan be that leader in the center with Maxu just kind of brings a new dynamic more than anything else.
For sure. Also in the Toyota chat, I thought it was a good point from El Palon. He'll need to get adjusted to the altitude, or as Mitch would say, elevation. So, So I don't know if we'll see him on Saturday or not, as a starter or even as a sub. But as far as the rules go, he can certainly suit up and be a part of the roster on Saturday. We don't know. What we'll see. There's some acclimation to happen, obviously, with us being at, 5280. But, we'll see what happens. But again, that's coming from the Toyota chat.
Off the top of your head, what do you give this? What grade do you give this?
How do I grade the move?
Yeah, just right now at face value, man. What do you give it? Face value. Don't worry.
Just face value.
Just looking at that move go through.
Right, taking Duane out of it because I'm not super familiar with that.
Neither am I.
I give it a 7 because I think it's a piece. You look at, the Vines injury. You look at Keegan. You look at Bombito moving out. And then you look at Lawless. You've got Keegan and Lawless on the right side, as you said. Both of them are vet players, and they've played a lot. I mean, not so much for Lawless, but Keegan has played a lot of minutes this season. When you add in Leagues Cup and how many games there have been, you're looking at playoffs, could be a lot more minutes depending on how the Rapids do. There's just a lot of extra soccer for this squad. So I see it as, some fresh legs coming in. I think it's a bonus that he's already got U.S. men's national team connections simply on the fact that he knows guys like Djordje and Steffen and Johnny Lewis and, probably Cole. Like, there's just guys he knows that he has those U.S. men's national team connections with. So when you're pulling in somebody, I think it's great that he already has familiarity with his teammates. So I think it looks like a solid move. And he seems like, also in the Twitter chat earlier, I think it was maybe Dustin, I don't know, talking about how versatile he is. But, he's not locked into just right back. Like, he can fill in for Lawless. He could maybe even slide over to left and help out with the Vines injury if they're trying to get Vines healthy still. So, I don't know. Seems like a positive move to me.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7.5, kind of in the same realms. Don't know much about him. I like the move. I like the Rapids doing something, and that's what gets me excited, that it's another player with high potential.
Absolutely. We're going to move on and talk about some other players. We know that the release of video games is right around the corner. We saw some player rankings come out yesterday. We're going to talk about some Rapids player rankings and where might those fall right after the break. But before that, we're going to talk about some of our friends, like the ones that sponsor the Toyota chat. And that's our friends and partners at Toyota. As you all know, Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. We are big fans. We love it when the Toyota DNVR wrapped truck shows up at our events or over here at the bar. Toyota, look, trucks have always been a part of Toyota's DNA. For generations, Toyota has built durable legends destined for greatness and perfect for Colorado. Whether you're conquering off-road trails or hauling the weight of the world, there's a Toyota truck out there that's just right for you. Like the all-new 2024 Tacoma and the return of the iconic 2024 Land Cruiser. There are 17 models of Toyotas available with all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, like the Epic 4Runner. My neighbor had a friend who came over yesterday that rolled up in a brand new 4Runner, and it was like this bright kind of red-orangey color. Oh my gosh, it was awesome. 4Runner is my favorite Toyota. That's not part of the read. That's just a personal thing from Duane to you. I love 4Runners. I think they're the coolest.
Can you guys tell that Duane likes Toyota?
I like 4Runners. They're so cool. Hey, we're looking at the future. We're looking at planet Earth. Toyota also currently offers more low and zero emission vehicles combined than any other automaker to give customers numerous choices to reduce their carbon footprint. There are 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from, like the Tundra iForce Max hybrid truck, and Toyota SUVs take command on the road and on the trail. As we know in Colorado, super important, so you can explore the road less traveled without sacrificing smooth city rides and SUVs like the RAV4 and Grand Highlighter. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, whoop whoop, Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Again, Toyota. It's the official vehicle, the official truck of DNVR, and Toyota is a proud partner of your Colorado Rapids. Thanks, Toyota. Thanks for the Toyota Lounge downstairs. Thanks for Toyota Chat, so our friends can get in here and talk to us. And speaking of the Toyota Lounge downstairs, we can't talk about the lounge downstairs without talking about Empire Today flooring.
Empire Today. I don't even have to come up with that jingle.
As you know, the floors downstairs in the Toyota Lounge, they're Empire flooring floors. They're incredible. With Empire Today, you get shop-at-home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a price match guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring, so of course, they have copycats. But those copycats can't beat Empire Flooring on quality, service, and speed, so they advertise low-quality products that Empire simply won't carry. Empire won't promise the lowest prices because anyone who does that is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in theirs. And I can speak to that. I know you can too, Yahir.
Yeah,
because downstairs we had flooring before the Empire flooring.
Not high quality flooring to be.
And we put it down there ourselves. Like when we were building, the Toyota Lounge, and it was within maybe 3 months, maybe less, that floor was wrecked. I mean, literally scratched up. The side was coming off and it was metal and super sharp and stabby and dangerous. And so we reached out to our friends at Empire. They came in, put in the floors. I was personally the one who got to pick out the flooring.
No wonder it was so bad, damn it.
And so, no, not the old flooring, the new flooring with Empire. And so I can speak to how easy it was. Like one of their folks came over, they took a look at the space, they pulled out samples right away, and it was so easy to find. They pulled up this cool little mock to see it right there in the space, which you can do as well. They have a virtual floor designer. It's a great way to see how new floors will look in any space. It's easy. You just take a picture and it instantly see how the new floors look in your room. Look, shopping for floors at big box stores can be frustrating. You're probably going to talk to someone who was working in plumbing the day before.
Yep.
And that's what's great about Empire. All they do is floors. You can come check us out. Come to the bar, come upstairs and see the beautiful flooring that we have down in the Toyota Lounge. But here's the thing. There's warranties. It's easy to see what it's going to look like. You get personal service. So schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when you use the promo code DNVR. Restrictions apply, and see empiretoday.com/DNVR for details. Thanks, Empire, for our beautiful floors.
Empire Today.
All right, let's get back to it. DNVR Rapids. This guy is Yahya. I'm Duane, and we're going to talk about
player ratings.
Player ratings, not FIFA rankings, as Duane would say, because that's incorrect.
That's why he looked at me, to make double sure. So, first of all, the comments are saying we have to get a FIFA league together. I am down. Love playing that.
Oh, we should get a FIFA league down, and the reason is everybody gets a free win when you play me.
It's a lot of fun. I love playing FIFA. Like that's when I'm stressed, when I need time. That's what I go with. I also hate that Ski Wilson already knows that I'm gonna break my controller in the 96th minute because I threw, or my TV or something, because I gave up a last minute goal. I hate that our viewers know me so well at this point that they know exactly what I'm doing. But we kind of wanted to get a little bit with FC25 coming right around the corner. There's a new way to kind of look at how far the Rapids have come and what we think they can become next year. So last year, the Rapids had a starting line of Rafael Navarro, Djordje Mihailovic, Kevin Cabral, Omir Fernandez, Oli Laraz, Cole Bassett, Tammy Vines, Andreas Maxu, Moise Bombito, Keegan, and Zach. That was the starting lineup, default starting lineup that you got in the game. Now, when you see Rafa, your DP striker, the guy you spend all that money for, was rated at a 96. It's not incredible. It's not incredible stats, if I'm completely honest with you. His finishing was only at 70, dribbling at 66, Acceleration at 72. But looking at that, Duane, when I tell you that, dribbling at 66, acceleration at 72, and finishing at 70, what do you think he's going to be at come FC 25? Let's start with finishing. He's at 70. What is he going to be at?
72.
You think he's going to get a bump?
Maybe.
Because of the
I
goals?
don't know. It could be the same. I mean, he has more goals, but
What do you think he should be at? Now, what do you think he's going to be at?
like, what are we paying him to be? Is like
No. What do you think he should be at in the game? If it's 70, let's say it's about a C.
and 70 is based on last year's performance.
Yeah, 70 is what he will at.
I'll stick with 72.
72, okay.
It's a small bump, but like when I look at the rest of the league and the fact that there are DP strikers that have already broken the Rapids record again, that's not a huge bump.
Fair. I think he'll be closer to 75 because of the huge kind of like...
It's a big
spike,
jump from 0 goals to double-digit goals.
Exactly. I think the spike's going to help him. And I think at the end of it, he's going to have a lot more goals. Dribbling, 66. What do you think he should be at?
Dribbling 66?
Yeah.
I mean, I think his work on the ball is better than his
finishing?
goal-scoring ability. I would put him much higher than that. I'll say 74.
74? I was thinking 75.
Okay.
I think...
I was going to say 75, but I was trying to bring it back down.
No,
Be realistic.
No, to me, his dribbling is, besides his work rate, is probably the best thing. And his speed is at 72.
I don't know if I'm qualified to speed. I never really see him like... I mean, gets back pretty well. I guess I'll just keep it there.
Right at 72?
Yeah,
I think that's fair. So, overall, what do you think he should be ranked at? He's at 66 right now.
He's ranked 66.
Yeah, he's rated 66.
He's rated. I'll put him at a 70. Let's bump him to 70.
Oh, you're giving him 4 full points.
Again, I'm terrible. Like when we start this league, everybody, I cannot tell you how blessed you will be.
Up the pitch!
Hey, we got enough the pitch from an Avs guy. We love it. We love to hear it.
Rudo from the Avs giving us some love. It will be a blessing for you to get to play me in FIFA because I'm so bad at it. We've got
We got a live crowd up in
Avs,
here.
Kings, Rangers legend Eric Lacroix coming in supporting the Pids.
Most famously, a Wayne Gretzky teammate. That's incredible to
crazy.
say. I work with the guy that worked with Wayne Gretzky.
Insane.
See, I look at it, 66. I think he'll be like a 68.
Okay.
I think he won't get that much of a bump. I think overall his stats might get better because I think he has been better. But I think it's going to be really hard for him to get the overall bump until he becomes a star of the MLS.
Okay.
Like a legit star.
What's a legit star rating for you?
A legit star rating, it's anywhere from like 70. For a striker, anywhere from like 70 to like 78, especially in the MLS.
Okay.
Maybe any other league, it'd be a little bit different. But like, I think anywhere from 70 to 78 would be like, I think he needs one more season to get that huge bump for him to be like a premier player in the league.
All right. Well, I'm going to give it to you right now, Hafa. So this is your time to build up to the rating that I'm giving you.
We think you're that good.
What about Toyota Chat? Where do you rate Rafa Navajo?
Yeah, where do you think Rafa's going to be at? That's actually a really good one. Djordje Mihailovic was at 74 last year. That's not him playing at all, really, out in Netherlands, having very few starts, kind of going based off his whole reputation in the MLS a little. Where do you think he's going to end up?
Like just straight up rating?
Straight up rating.
He's got to be 78.
You think he's almost going to hit that 80 mark?
Yeah, he's so good. Yeah.
He's so damn
I think
good.
he's one of the premier players in the league right now. Like as a 10, like he is a premier player in the league. I think that's more than justified.
El Pelon has him at 79. Rafa,
Okay.
I think.
Rafa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Djordje, it's one of those, we have a 78 for Rafa, a 73.
73 for Rafa, 78, and a 79.
I mean, I think you guys are...
Mid-70s. So everybody's we're all kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, we all understand that he's a good player.
Kind of
maybe not the top, but close. Okay. With Djordje, that's a little bit more difficult for me. That's the one where I kind of wrap my head around it. And I'm like, I'm not sure. I think he deserves to be probably like an 82, 83, if I'm completely honest. I just don't think he's going to get there. I don't think they're going to give him that high of a rating.
Do you think it's because he plays for the Colorado Rapids?
I think it's because of his age.
Premier team?
I think it's because of his age.
Because of his age.
Yeah, so FIFA
that's bonus points for me.
FC brings a lot of like different little things to it. But if I'm being completely honest, he's at 74 this year. He should be closer to like that 80 mark. He should at least be like
78 minimum.
Yeah, I think 78 is like the floor for next year. And the highest it should be like 85. That's the kind of level that he's played at lately.
Toya Chatski's got him at 77.
So like a 3-point bump, that's huge.
Yeah.
One of the guys that's no longer here that I think is super disrespectful is Moise Bombito. Moise Bombito's at a 62.
Criminal.
7 points lower than
Criminal.
Max. I want to look at his speed real quick, what it was ranked at last year. His sprint speed is at 80. His acceleration was at 70. That just, to me, doesn't seem...
That was based on... Now he's the fastest... He was the fastest man in MLS.
He's faster than Tyreek Hill. He's faster than any NFL player.
It's got to be higher.
It has to be like a 99 speed at this point, right? Like the way you track down players, it cannot be that low. What do you think Moise is going to be at now that he's in Europe?
Oh, so he gets the European bump?
Oh, he's going to get the European bump.
He's going to get the European bump. Plus, he was the fastest man MLS. He's got Team Canada now. He was just sold for a bag. He was at 62. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put him at 75.
Oh, man, you read my mind so well, Duane. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate that everybody knows exactly the sort of person I am. It's not okay. There should be a little bit more mystery to me. Bombi will be an 80 according to Crash. 83.
Dustin has him at 83.
Wow.
Let's go.
Dustin, you are a Bombi believer. You know how we say believe? It should be...
It's Bombleave.
Bombleave. It should be a lot cooler.
He's a Bombleaver.
Another one that I thought was super disrespectful, but I get it. I understand where they're coming from. Ollie LaRosse at a lowly 54. That's where you rate a prospect. That's where you rate a guy that just kind of showed up. He was
kind of a prospect last year, though, with R2.
Yeah, his potential's only at 65, according to FC. Again, these are all video game numbers. They don't mean anything.
Video game numbers. We're just trying to get you guys hyped
for the video game more than anything. Brought to you by FC25. Buy it now at your local store.
Send us free copies.
Por favor. What do you think Ollie, now that he's had this incredible year, is going to be at? His potential's at 65, according to what FIFA thinks he's going to be at.
Let's go 68.
Oh, you think he already surpassed his potential?
Yes.
By 1 million?
Like 65?
That's
low.
That is low, especially for a 22-year-old.
Yeah. I just think that's low for potential.
I'm going to have a really hot take right now.
All right, let's hear the hot take. Hot take, yeah.
Ollie LaRosse would be better than Aiden Morris, who just went to Middlesbrough, if he would have had a more opportunity under Frazier and if he didn't get injured.
That is a spicy take.
I truly believe that. I think Ollie would be better than Aiden Morris if he had more time to play like Aiden did and if he didn't get injured.
I'm not going to disagree with you. Like, it's a spicy take.
It's super spicy. It's like, and I'm, again, subject to being wrong. I will get that. Flame me, Cruise fan, come for me. It's fine.
But again, you're looking at 2 more years of experience. Like if we'd had Ollie at this level, and this was his third year of being this level, but this level was 2 years ago. I mean, now he would be 2 years past that.
Exactly.
So,
I think he'd be the next one touted for being like touted for a European move. Honestly. Okay, our star boy, the man that we all love down, gashing that defense, Cole Bassett, was ranked a nice 69.
nice.
A nice 69. That was after he had a horrible year, in all fairness. They told him nice.
Yeah, he didn't bump up until the end of the season.
It was like literally the last 5 games where he got most of his goals and actually started contributing. Is at a 69 with a 77 potential. I think it's important to bring potential for these young guys.
Sure.
What do you think FC 25 is going to have him at?
I'm going to say they're going to have him at a 73.
At a 73? You think he's going to get that that huge 4-point bump?
4-point bump, yeah.
With what?
I think he could be higher, but I think he wears a Rapids jersey, so I'm just assuming bias.
It's very hard, though, because we're also biased the other way, right? It's like, this guy's incredible. Why would he
I don't make any money off these video games. I can say whatever I want.
Dustin saying 74.
74 for Cole.
So last year, he had 6 goals and an assist. This year, he's at 9 goals with 7 assists. I think each goal's worth almost 2 points. Okay. 2 more points. At least get to 3 goals. So it's 6 points. I think he's going to be right at a 75, almost 77. He's going to be lower than Djordje, though, for sure. I think he has to be lower than Djordje and Rafa because the stats are a little bit different. The things he does are not flashy. So I think for Cole to have a good rating, it has to be anywhere from 74 to 77. And I think I'm going to stick with the 76.
Okay.
I think that's going to be the sweet spot for him. Man, Rapids are going to be so fun to play with in FIFA if they give them all the ratings that I want. They should just listen to me, honestly.
People will want to be the Rapids.
You should just hit me up and I'll create all the ratings for you guys. They should do that more often. Go with the journalist
we'll help you.
We're here for fun. Okay, want to do one more that I think you're going to love?
Yes, let's do one more.
Mr. Revolution himself, Kevin Cabral, was at a lowly 64 last year. I want to see his speed because he's a sprint speed 85, acceleration 84, which again seems kind of low.
Oh, it seems low?
Yeah.
It seems pretty high. I mean, not high for him. I think it seems accurate.
I just think he's so much
fast.
quicker. That's how fast he looks out there.
Okay.
What do you think?
What was his overall last year?
64. With a potential of 69.
See, I think the injury and timeout is going to hurt him this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll move up to 67.
67? You think he gets a 3-point bump?
Yeah.
So if we're going...
Keep him in the 60s, but I think he gets a bump.
5 goals, 4 assists this year. Last year, he had 2 goals, 1 assist. That's 6 goal contributions more. If I count those the same way I counted Cole,
with the Yahir ranking system,
the actual ranking system, everybody should
that's
be
trademarked.
Don't ever FC. If you use that, please send me up and give me a job. More than happy to play video games all day and get paid.
Oh, we've got a 73 in the chat for Kevin Cabral.
I was gonna say 70.
Okay.
And I feel like that's kind of hot.
Dude, I love that. I'm all about Cabral.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, this is your guy. This is the guy that you would know the most.
But I feel like he's missing, almost half the season.
It's going to be half the season,
again,
right?
the amount of, he's making a lot of money. People are expecting more. I think that's the thing. I think the expectation is what's going to cloud the player rating.
He's going to miss 12 games. He's going to miss 12 games of the MLS regular season.
So it's at least a third of the season.
Yeah.
A little over a third.
So you're going to think he's 69?
Yeah, let's put him at 69.
Yeah, I know you're going to.
Let's keep it nice.
Nice. I don't know, man. Kevin Cabral to me is such a weird guy because you see him last year, right? He's a player that work rate is there. Bless you. super producer Alyssa on the ones and twos and
on the ones and twos and sneezes
and spilling her guts out right now. But he's such a weird guy to kind of quantify, right? He's the kind of guy that you have high hopes for. He has all the attributes. You saw it last year. He was just kind of missing that extra spark. And halfway through this year, it kind of kicked in. He kind of found that extra drive, that extra touch that has him at 5 goals and 4 assists. That if he wouldn't have missed so many games, I feel like he'd be closer to 10. I really do. That's how good I think Cabral has been this year.
Yeah.
And I'm a Cabral hater. You know me. Like it's like I hated that signing from the beginning.
Team Cabral.
You are, man. That's why I got to give all the credit to you. You saw the vision. I didn't see the vision. But that huge jump that he made this year out on the pitch, it doesn't show it on the paper unless you go into like the advanced stats, really. But even then, people don't realize how key piece Cabral has been this year until he's been out. You've seen how much the wingers have struggled. You've seen how J. Lou has not had the same touch. Even Omir, who I love and I think he's a great player, hasn't been able to duplicate what Cabral has done this year. Calvin couldn't do it, and Calvin's been having a great year too. But what Cabral has done for this team, it's incredibly...
I agree.
Surprising more than anything. And that's, to me, the from going to a guy that, hey, man, can you get this DP spot back? Going to, hey, this guy's a key to the future. Can we still get that DP spot back? To me, it's still a huge jump.
Yep.
And he deserves all the credit for that, along with Armas.
For sure. Yeah, it was a smart move. All right, we were going to end it there, but we've got one more in the Toyota chat, and we're going to do that right after this quick break to talk about ourselves.
Oh, I love talking about me.
Man, DNVR does some of the coolest events in Colorado. If you're looking at tailgates, you're looking at coming down to the bar, you're looking at watch parties, as we talked about at the top of the show, like this is the season for sports. It's sports springtime right now. It may be fall in the calendar or approaching fall, but it's springtime for sports. Starting off with that, it's Broncos time, baby. Oh. Like we've got a home game coming up.
It's bow time.
It's bow time. Let's effing bow. And we do the
worst tagline in all of sports. I'm sorry. I love Bo and I love the Broncos. I love our tailgate. Worst tagline in all of sports.
It's better than Let's Ride with a number 3 in it. That's all I'm going to say. Hey, man, tailgate season. It's here. We've got the best tailgate in the city, and it's in the coolest spot. It's in that back lot of Sports Fan, 18th and Federal. You can get the party started early if you want and take a bus from the DNVR bar. Tickets are available for all home games right now at thednvr.com/events. Man, there's Breck Brew, there's Breck Distillery, there's Primo Hoagies. If you've not had a Primo Hoagie, you are missing out.
That's my favorite hoagie to eat.
It's the best, Sammy's. Let me tell you. I've said it before. We ordered Primo Hoagies one day and I got the wrong one and it was still the best sandwich I've ever had.
I love when that happens.
So they're going to be there. All kinds of games, things to do with your Broncos buddies. It's the coolest view. You're up on the hill. You're looking down at all the other tailgates. It's great. It's just an awesome location. It's super fun. If you're going to go to a tailgate, if you're going to go to a Broncos game, you got to get to the tailgate, the DNVR tailgate ahead of the game. If you are a Broncos faithful, whether or not you go to the games or not, maybe you just want to tailgate and then watch the game either on your phone out in the parking lot or go home and watch it. Season passes are available. You can get season pass to all of the tailgates. Buffs, obviously, they have been on a meteoric marketing rise in college football. Their tailgate season is here. You can hang out with the DNVR Buffs crew. There's Breck Brews there. There's all kinds of food. They've got season passes available. Hey, man, guess what's happening this Saturday?
What's happening this Saturday?
It's a DNVR Rapids takeover. We're teaming up with C38 to take over Dick's Sporting Goods Park September 14th. This Saturday, Pids versus Portland. It's the revenge game. You get a bus ride from the DNVR bar. You get a ticket to the C38 tailgate. All you can drink, all you can eat. Dev dogs, dev dogs, dev dogs, dev dogs, dev dogs. Mini donuts, dev dogs. You get a ticket to the Rapids game.
Put a mini donut on your dev dog.
Why not? There's as many as you want. Just go make it happen. Man, vibes, all of the things. DNVR Rapids takeover. Again, thednvr.com/events. Get your ticket. You've just got a couple days left. Jump in there. Yeah, all the things, man.
It's going to be a good time.
Now is the time. DNVR events. Get in there. All right, let's get back to it. We're going to take one more from the Toyota chat because I think it's a good one. And that is, what about the Colorado Rapids overall ranking that comes from Ski Wilson in the Toyota chat? Dustin says 71. What do you say, Yahya?
They're at a 67.
Okay.
With all the improvements we've talked
being
about,
coming off one of the worst seasons in Rapids history,
should have been like a 3 if we're completely honest. One of the worst seasons in football history. It feels like
very bad.
Worse than any Man U season they've ever had, and that's a hard thing to beat. 67 is what they were at in FC 24. 71 doesn't feel that off. And with all the improvements we talked about this team, it feels like they can even be hitting like 75. If they get Rafa at that 68, well, like what did we say? 75 was like 75 the minimum, and Djordje was 77. They're right there is like a huge improvement in the team.
Sure.
So to me, looking at them,
second overall in XG.
Exactly. Like all the stats are pointing for the Rapids to be one of the funnest teams to play in FIFA with all that speed, all those kind of playmakers you have in the midfield. It feels like the Rapids should be closer to like a 75, especially if they listen to this podcast, which I hope they do.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are finished off all of the rankings.
They're going back
and
right
they're
now,
like,
fixing it.
wait a minute, we got to finish off Rapids. Let's tune into DNVR Rapids and see what the guys
It's just
think.
a code. They can do it. It's fine. I can fix things on shows. They can do it on the whole game. It's not that difficult. Don't come at me, FIFA, please. I still love you. But 75, but it just goes to show how much they've improved, right? How fun this team has become over the last year. And that was the main point of this exercise. Seeing how fun these players and this team has gotten in general, and what they could still become with such a young squad. Now, I don't know what Reggie Cannon's at because I forgot to look him up, but I'm sure Reggie Cannon will be like at 99 or something eventually.
I'm sure.
Yeah, like you give him a year and he'll be like at 99.
They've got a coach who's ranked 150 in Chris Armas, coach of the year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's got to bump them up.
Yeah, exactly. All those kind of things are going to help out so much. They really are. So I think it's going to be a good time to play FC. If you guys want to join the league, hit me up, DM me. I'm more than happy to
Let's figure it out. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to
I'll go
do
get
something.
the game just so you have one free win.
There we go, man.
Per person.
It's a great distraction. So it's also part of Rapids community.
Very bad.
Exactly. It's fine though because it's FIFA. Like that's the best part of it. It's FIFA and it's fine.
It's great. I'm here to lift up others.
I think it's gonna be a fun game. And again, if you guys want to play something with me, hit me up, and I'm more than happy to do a remote game or something.
All right. Well, speaking of games, we've got one coming up this Saturday at home at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. The Portland Timbers will be traveling to Colorado. The Portland Timbers seem to have had our number all season. Will they have our number again, or will this be the revenge game that Rapids fans have been wanting? Let's get into, quickly in our few minutes here that we have left, Rapids versus Timbers. What do you think, Yahya?
I'm terrified. I am like I am metaphorically and physically pooping my pants right now because of this game. Sorry, it smells so bad.
It's bad.
It's horrible
Be
in here.
thankful, listener or watcher, that you're not in the studio.
This isn't
right
a 5D.
It's horrible.
It's not a 5D production where you can smell what's going on in here too. But no, I am very, very scared just because Portland has the upper hand. It's a mind game, and it does give me a little hope that the guys might come back a little bit more motivated. They've gotten completely washed out twice now by Portland. 8-0, I think it is, right? 4-0 both games, or 4-1 in the first one. So it's 8-1. If you're looking at the global score, like, it's horrible to look at. But you're back home. You've played great at home. Now, can you just neutralize Evander? Can you get into Cabecita's head, which is funny because in Spanish it's just little head. Can you get into little head's head? And I think those are going to be the biggest keys. You also need so much more from your midfield and Rafa. Because the wingers, I love them, but I just don't trust them.
Sure.
But I trust Rafa and I trust the midfield. And without them, this game is not going to, without them, this game's going to be a blowout. You need Ollie to come in here and be physical, get a body on Evander whenever he can. You need Ronan to be crispy with those passes. And you need asshole Djordje. You need a guy that's going to go out there, be mean, be mad, and be ready to fight. And that's the one way the Rapids can come out of a win.
Biggest player from Timbers that worries you in this matchup?
It has to be Evander.
Okay.
But Anthony is another one that pops up a little bit.
All right. Rapids hero. Who's going to turn the tide? Biggest player they should be worried about?
It's going to sound dumb, but I think it's Keegan.
Oh, that take.
I think Keegan's going to try to... Because Keegan has been one of the weaker spots against Portland, and Portland just has playmakers on both sides of those wings. You have Moreno, and then you have Keegan. I think Keegan should have the game of his life here. If Keegan can hold his own and be that attacking guy that we know he can, I think Portland's going to have a tough time, and I think he's going to have more room to operate because I think the wingers are going to try to overload the box a little bit more. So I think that right and left side is going to be pure real estate for anybody that's playing out there.
Yeah. I have good news. I don't think you need to poop or pee your pants about this game. We're back at home. We've been punched in the face by Portland twice. This is going to be the turnaround match. Rapids are going to win this one. I think the key player for them to be afraid of is Djordje Mihailovic.
Djordje.
This is a game where I think Portland is going to come in and they're really going to be thinking they're big brother coming in to take on little bro again. That arrogance is going to come in here. They're probably going to play physical and really hard. And I think Djordje is going to get super pissed. I think this is going to be one of those angry Djordje games. And it's going to be awesome. The one thing to be concerned about when you look at Portland's previous game versus Seattle a couple weeks ago is that Portland actually played some defense. They're known for their offense, but their defense was pretty stout. So I don't know if that was a one-off or if that's kind of what they look like now, but that's going to be something to pay attention to. Prediction, Yahya?
I'm going to go 2-2 draw. I think Rafa and Djordje score.
Okay. I'm going 2-1 Rapids win because we got to have it, and they deserve to lose on our sacred grounds at home.
We are in sacred grounds.
I also have Rafa and Djordje scoring the goals for the Rapids. So that's what we think. Saturday, get into the DNVR.com/events to get your DNVR Rapids takeover tickets. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one on Saturday.
It's going to be a real good one. You guys should tune in. Buy your tickets to the takeover if you haven't yet. It's going to be a lot of fun. Meet a bunch of pids. And it's going to be a great time all the way.
Plug us out, my man.
DNV_Rapids on Twitter. Follow us there, please. 5-star review wherever you hear this podcast. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And on to you, Duane.
Folks, it's always a pleasure. It's a gift to be able to talk about the Rapids with you in the Toyota chat. And as we end it, every single time since the beginning, our man, Djordje, has created a t-shirt about it. Helped us create a t-shirt about it. And that's how we end every show. Up the PIDs.
We all silly like the mayor.